Kevin Shohei Ohtani left the Yankees sad and devastated. He won his third MVP and his first season with the Dodgers. Now he returns after shoulder surgery. He's on track to return to pitching at some point this season, hoping to have his first bullpen session this weekend. He was asked how he was feeling today, and his comments are new here on SportsCenter.
After the shoulder surgery, do you feel just as strong as you normally would?
手術で強さっていうのはどこら辺ですかねと。
完全にその違和感がないっていう状態ではないですけど、もう少しすればそれがまた良くなってきて、しばらくはこう違和感が残るんじゃないかなとは思いますけど、今の現状それでもバットは結構触れてるので、そこの戦いかなと思います。
I do feel like there's some discomfort that I have to still overcome. It's not really, debilitating, but I do feel like I feel pretty good, almost getting there to where I want it to be.
All right, so not concerning, but something to watch for. Our baseball reporter Alden Gonzalez is on the scene at Dodger Spring Training Camp there in Glendale, Arizona, and joins us now. Alden, what more can you share with us about the team's pitching plans for Ohtani this season?
Yeah, they're going to be cautious, Al, at least on the front end. Ohtani plans to start throwing bullpen sessions this weekend, but Dodgers manager Dave Roberts said today that he doesn't anticipate him pitching in any spring training games. In all likelihood, he's going to steadily build up as a pitcher in February and March. The Dodgers will stage some simulated games for him at their ballpark in April, and he'll join the rotation at some point in May. Keep in mind, by the way, Ohtani can't go out on a normal rehab assignment like a recovering pitcher traditionally would because he needs to hit in their lineup. But all of this is geared toward the Dodgers' hope of keeping Ohtani as fresh as possible for the stretch run. So Roberts talked today about possibly working in more off days for him as a designated hitter, definitely stealing less bases than he did last year, and probably pitching once a week as part of a six-man rotation. But Ohtani and the Dodgers have yet to really sit down and plan all of this out. And interestingly enough, Ohtani said today that he hopes to play in as many games as possible this year. That was kind of his approach with the Angels when he took on a two-way role previously. So it's going to be really fascinating to see how the Dodgers sort of balance all of this. And that process has only just begun.
The Dodgers finally win the World Series. First one in a full season back since 1988. Now looking to repeat, be the first one to do that in a quarter century. The New York Yankees, of course, back in the late 90s. So we start the season in Japan. Here's Dave Roberts on his pitching plan.
We're not going to kind of exhaust everything to get ready for two games, but be ready and prepared to win two games in Tokyo. I think it's fair to say that Yamamoto is going to pitch that home opener, or that first one. And then with Roki, just kind of, obviously, like I said, the plan is for him to pitch there. We'll kind of figure out when. And a lot of it is more contingent in the unknown of how he responds to spring training and his build-up. I think everything's on the table, but I think it's pretty fair to say it would be to pitch in, the second game of the season. But if it doesn't line up, then it doesn't line up.
Good stuff there from Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers. Here's what he has at his disposal. You're right, Case. An embarrassment of riches. Blake Snell's won 2 Cy Youngs. Yamamoto's got lights-out stuff. Glasnow's always in the Cy Young conversation. Sasaki's 23 years of age, has a 100-mile-an-hour heater. Kershaw's your number 5, the future Hall of Famer. Then you got Gonsolin, May, Miller, Knack to pick up the slack. And Ohtani should be in that rotation after the first month of the regular season. So you listen to what Dave said. Basically, we're going to go with the Japanese pitchers in Japan. Makes sense, Yamamoto, Sasaki. Although these are regular season games, I'm a little bit surprised he doesn't give one of the starts to Blake Snell or a Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think being in Japan and, listen, pick your poison. Yeah. I mean, you have a bunch of number ones in this rotation. I mean, Yamamoto, they gave him all that money. They got Sasaki to come over. I mean, this guy is electric, throws 100 miles an hour, wipeout split finger, too. I mean, and, when you talked about me, you're saying Kershaw's sitting at 5 right there.
Yeah.
You got Snell, you got Glasnow. But, I mean, I think we're ready to see this guy. And I think, why wouldn't you want to see Roki Sasaki while you're over there in Japan? That place will go absolutely crazy. And he's a frontline starter. Electric. There it is right there. Scouting notes. Electric. Over 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Four-pitch mix with the nasty split finger he has.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing to see what he's capable of. And, again, Yamamoto, I mean, just the intensity you never saying off air. Like, the Dodgers are going to own Japan, considering the Japanese stars in that team.
Yeah, oh, yeah. When you got Yamamoto, Sasaki, and Ohtani, might be the 3 best pitchers, obviously, in Japan. Yeah. They're in the United States. All with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
like I said, pick your poison. These are all frontline starters.
It's going to be like the Beatles. The Dodgers should Dave Roberts, by the way, of course, born in Japan. Meantime, this tweet here on the Dodgers injury updates, according to Doc, Ohtani is not likely to pitch in Cactus League games or go on a minor league rehab assignment before returning to pitching. So once he's ready to go, he's going to go. And Phillips and Kopech, that's Evan Phillips and Michael Kopech, behind schedule entering camp. There could be candidates to open the season on the IL. Meantime, here's Ohtani.
ピッチングはいいと思います。今日寒かったですけど。
I'm very satisfied overall with my throwing. Was able to throw with pretty good intensity. It was a little cold today, but I was able to get my work done.
変化球は今日スイーパー初めて投げましたけど、それ以外の球種は
Threw my sweeper for the first time on the flat ground today, but aside from that, all my pitches I've been throwing on flat ground. In terms of the bullpen, just going to depend on how my fastball feels.
So no pitching from Ohtani, and certainly not in the regular season until about May. It's going to be interesting here, Case, because he's the best player in the world. We all got that. But he'll be a different hitter this year, right? Because he has to expend the energy now as a pitcher. He's not going to be stealing 50 bags.
I was going to say, I think the stolen bases will be down. You know, the home runs might be down a little bit. I'll probably be in the 40s or 50s. Listen, guys, I think what's incredible, Adnan, is we forget. I think last year he made us all forget he's a pitcher.
Yes.
I mean, went 50-50 last year, which is the first player to ever do that. But he's still one of the best pitchers in baseball, and I think that's who he wants to be, that elite two-way player. So it's just incredible. I watching him in those throwing those pens and on the side, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. He pitches too, and he's a top 5 pitcher. He's not just a pitcher.
Well, that's the thing I think about. I'm like, listen, he's a 3-time MVP. To win another MVP would be amazing. Second most to Barry Bonds is 7. But to me, the real accomplishment is if this guy wins a
Cy Young. I mean, come on.
Mind-boggling.
Just be, open up Cooperstown right now.
He finished 4th in 2022. But I'm curious how Dave Roberts, again, is going to use these guys. I can't see Ohtani Case throwing 160 innings. I think they'll be very careful how they use it.
Well, they have so much depth. They proved that they needed it last year, too. I mean, they had to go get Flaherty at the deadline, all that stuff. I think Doc Roberts does a great, great job. One of the best in the business of managing that bullpen, managing that rotation, figuring out what the numbers look like. I think that front office is some of the best, too, so they'll figure it out.
Definitely could use a 6-man rotation, considering how many options he has. According to BetMGM, the odds when it comes to the Dodgers' regular season win totals, 104.5. Then you got the Braves and the Yankees, who are 11 back at 93.5. You got the Mets, the Phillies, and the Baltimore Orioles, at least on paper, going to be sub-90 wins. In a year in which we had no 100-win teams, the Dodgers potentially 104.5. It's interesting, Case, because the Mariners won 116 back in 01. I don't think this Dodgers team is saying to themselves, hey, let's go out and make history, win 120 games. But they've got the talent on paper to win 105 games.
They actually could do it. Yeah, 105 games, they actually could do that. I think with that rotation, you win on the bump, no doubt, in this league. But then you talk about the 3-headed monster they have in Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty incredible. So they actually, that 105 number is definitely reachable. And that's incredible, 116. Orso in the meeting said 06, and I was like, oh, 2006 Cubs? He's like, no, the 1906 Cubs.
Tinker to ever is a chance, I think. Matt Orso, our researcher, loves the Cubs that era. Yankees, by the way, 98, 114. The Dodgers just a couple years ago.
Yeah, 111. Wow.
And, of course, the Indians 111 back in 1954.
Wow.
I'm also think, LA made all these great moves, and I get they're the favorite on paper, but offensively didn't make any major moves. Pitching obviously bolsters. Snell, amazing. Tanner Scott's an amazing closer. Kirby Yates. But offensively, it's more about, hey, let's just re-sign Teoscar.
Yeah.
Kike fits in a little bit here and there, like we're good to go.
Yeah, well, Teoscar, listen, he got you some big home runs last year. Conforto's a nice piece. When you're saying Michael Conforto's a nice piece, you're deep.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And, obviously they're going to win with that rotation, bringing in Roki Sasaki. But like I said, when you're talking about Ohtani and Betts and Freeman and Muncy and they signed Edman and, they're loaded. Will Smith.
Yes.
We forget about the Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, now we're all the way down to the bottom of the lineup where you're just mixing and matching some guys. So, they're loaded.
Tommy Edman parlayed a few great months into a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable. If you get hot at the right time on the right team.
Exactly.
He proved his worth to that team. All right, still to come here on MLB Tonight when we come back.
ついに2024年の MLB シーズンが幕を開ける。そして誰もが認める最強軍団ロサンゼルス・ドジャースが昨シーズンのワールドシリーズ制覇に続き、史上稀に見る強力な布陣で 新たな歴史を刻もうとしている大谷翔平は、完全復活へ向かっている。すでにドジャースの中心選手として、絶大な影響を与えている大谷翔平。昨シーズンの大活躍に続き、今年もチームの命運を握る存在になることは間違いない。昨年は怪我により途中でマウンドを降りたが、今年は投手としての復活を目指し、慎重にリハビリを進めている。彼のコメントによると、まだ痛みはあるが、確実に良くなっているとのこと。すでにブルペンでの投球を開始し、5月にはついに本格的な投球を再開する予定だ。この瞬間を待ちわびていたファンは多いのではないだろうか。ドジャースの投手陣は驚異的な層の厚さを誇る。今年のドジャースはまさにエース級の投手が何人も揃う異次元の戦力となっている。日本球界最強の投手と称される山本由伸が MLB でどこまでやれるのか、その答えがついに明らかになる。そして驚異の100マイル速球を誇る朗希佐々木が若きスターとしてメジャーの舞台でどのような活躍を見せるのか、期待が膨らむ。さらに2度の最優賞を受賞したブレイク・スネルが加わり、より盤石なローテーションが完成した。伝説のエースであるクレイトン・カーショーが5番手に控えているという贅沢な布陣が、今季のドジャースの圧倒的な強さを物語っている。ドジャースの打線も破壊力抜群だ。投手陣が豪華すぎて忘れがちだが、打線もとんでもないことになっている。昨シーズン MVP 級の活躍を見せたムーキー・ベッツ、安定感抜群のクラッチヒッターフレディ・フリーマン、強打のマックス・マンシー、MLB 屈指の打てるオシュウィル・スミス、そしてもちろん大谷翔平が並ぶ打線は、どのチームの投手陣にとっても悪夢のような存在となるだろう。特に大谷、ベッツ、フリーマンのトップ3は、すでに史上最高の打順として語られており、対戦チームにとっては、これ以上ない脅威となることは間違いない。ドジャースは今年、日本でシーズン開幕戦を迎える山本由伸、朗希佐々木、そして大谷翔平という日本の至宝たちがドジャースの一員として日本で試合をするというのは、まさに歴史的な瞬間となる。東京ドームが歓声で揺れる光景が目に浮かぶ。この特別な試合でドジャースはどのようなスタートを切るのか、ファンとしては目が離せない展開が待っている。昨年のワールドシリーズ王者として臨む今シーズン、チームはさらに強化され、ドジャース王朝時代の幕開けを予感させる仕上がりだ。優勝したからといって満足しない、それがこのチームの強さだ。ムーキー・ベッツもフレディ・フリーマンも、そして大谷翔平も、全員が勝利のために戦う意識を持っている。しかし野球は何が起こるかわからないスポーツであり、ライバルたちも虎視眈々と王座を狙っている。ブレーブス、フィリーズ、パドレス、アストロズなど強豪チームもドジャースを追いかけている。だがドジャースには最高の才能と最高のチームワークがある。今シーズンもドジャースを全力で応援しよう。大谷翔平の復活劇、ドジャースの連覇への挑戦、そして MLB の熱い戦いを共に楽しもう。あなたの予想するドジャースの今季の成績は、大谷翔平は何本ホームランを打つのか、山本由伸、朗希佐々木の成績はどうなるのか、ぜひコメントで教えてほしい。そして最新情報を逃さないようにチャンネル登録と通知をオンにするのを忘れずに。それでは今シーズンもドジャースと共に最高の野球を楽しもう。